It was close to midnight when I spotted her. The road ahead was empty, the only sound the steady hum of my tires on the asphalt. I'd been driving for hours, lost in the rhythm of the dark highway, when the beam of my headlights caught a figure walking along the shoulder. A young woman, pale, dressed in a thin white dress that swayed in the night wind. She stood there with her thumb extended, her face half hidden by long dark hair. Something in me said to keep going, to press harder on the gas. But instead, I slowed and pulled over. She opened the door without a word and slid into the passenger seat. The air shifted the moment she entered, cooler, heavier. She folded her hands neatly in her lap and stared ahead. I asked where she was headed, my voice breaking the silence that pressed down on us. She answered softly, giving me an address I didn't recognize, her voice so faint I wasn't sure I'd really heard it. As I drove, I tried to make conversation, asked her name, if she was okay, where she was coming from. But she said almost nothing. Her presence felt strange, quiet, but not in a peaceful way. She smelled faintly of damp earth, mixed with something floral, like wilted roses left too long in a vase. My stomach tightened, but I kept driving. The more I glanced at her, the more uneasy I felt. Her skin seemed too pale, almost translucent, like the moonlight had soaked into her veins. Her lips moved faintly at times as though she were whispering something to herself, but no sound reached me. Finally, she turned her head and looked at me. Her face was beautiful, delicate, but her eyes were hollow, filled with a sorrow so deep it seemed endless. When I blinked, she was staring straight ahead again, silent as stone. We reached a curve in the road when the temperature in the car plummeted. My breath fogged against the windshield, the steering wheel slick with the sweat of my palms. I glanced at her again and nearly lost control of the car. The seat beside me was empty. I pulled over, my chest heaving, my eyes darting over the deserted highway. The door hadn't opened. I hadn't heard a sound. She was simply gone. Only the faintest imprint on the passenger seat cushion remained, proof that I hadn't imagined her. Shaking, I drove to the address she had whispered. It was an old farmhouse at the edge of town, windows dark, the porch sagging with age. I knocked on the door, half hoping no one would answer, but an elderly man opened it, his tired eyes narrowing when he saw me. I explained that I had picked up a young woman on the highway, and that she had given me this address. His face went pale, his eyes wet with grief. "My daughter," he whispered. "She died on that road 15 years ago, hit by a car while trying to walk home." He closed the door slowly, leaving me standing alone on the porch, my heart pounding in the silence. I drove away that night, shaken to my core. I told myself I'd never drive that stretch of road again, but sometimes, when exhaustion gets the better of me, and I take that route late at night, I see her in the rearview mirror, sitting silently in the back seat, her pale face lit by the glow of passing headlights. And every time, she's staring at me like she's waiting for me to finish the ride she never got to take.